Welcome to another session of Let's Learn German. In the previous session, we did personal pronouns and verb conjugations and certain rules regarding the verb conjugations with each of the personal pronouns. In this session, we would continue with certain new verbs and their conjugations. So, let's start. In this session, we are going to do the verb kommen, which means to come. In the previous sessions, we did woher kommen Sie, ich komme aus Delhi, woher kommst du, ich komme aus Delhi. And for the verb kommen, we used with the personal pronoun Sie, woher kommen Sie, and with the personal pronoun du, woher kommst du. So, let's see how the verb conjugation of kommen works with the personal pronouns. Ich komme, du kommst, sie, es kommt, sie kommen. If you remember, these personal pronouns ich, du, sie, es and sie are pronouns in singular. Now, let's move to the pronouns in plural. Wir kommen, ihr kommt, sie kommen, sie kommen. As I told you in the previous session, certain pronouns have the verb conjugation with the same endings. And which are they? Do you remember? They are Sie, en, wir, en, sie, en, sie, en. So, now we have done two verbs and their verb conjugations. They are heißen and kommen. Now, let's practice the verb conjugations and person pronouns with another verb, and the verb is wohnen. Wohnen means to stay or to live at a place. If you remember, we had done a structure. Wo wohnen Sie? Ich wohne in Hyderabad. Wo wohnst du? Ich wohne in Hyderabad. So, there we had used the personal pronouns Sie, du and ich and conjugated the verb wohnen accordingly. So, let's see how the verb wohnen is conjugated with personal pronouns. Ich wohne, du wohnst, sie, es wohnt, sie wohnen, wir wohnen, ihr wohnt, sie wohnen, sie wohnen. If you remember, four pronouns always carry the same verb conjugation endings, and they are sie, wir, sie, and all of them carry the verb conjugation ending en, and the pronouns which carry the verb ending t are sie, S T, ear, T. And what is T called in German? T. So, sie es wohnt, ihr wohnt. So, now let's move to another category of verbs which are slightly different in terms of verb conjugation. So, we have done three verbs: heißen, kommen and wohnen, and their respective conjugations with personal pronouns. And I hope now that you have learned the verb conjugations, and also that it is very easy to learn if you remember the tips and the rules. Now, moving to another category of verb, which is the verb haben, which is a slightly different verb in terms of conjugation. The verb haben in German means to have. Please watch carefully how the verb haben is conjugated with the personal pronouns. It might not follow the same rule like the other previous verbs. Ich habe, du hast, sie es hat, sie haben. Wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben, sie haben. So, this is the verb haben, which means to have. As you can see, 4 pronouns which carry the same ending are conjugated in the same manner. And do you remember those pronouns? Sie haben, wir haben, sie haben, sie haben. However, if you see the conjugation of the verb haben with the personal pronouns sie es, there is just a te without the b. In the same way, with the personal pronoun du, there is no b here. However, with the personal pronoun ihr, the b is retained with the ending t. So, the verb haben follows a slightly different pattern when it comes to its conjugation. Let's look at the conjugation once again. Ich habe, du hast, sie es hat, sie haben. Wir haben, ihr habt, sie haben, sie haben. Now we have done verb conjugations of 4 verbs. Now let's move on to another category of verb, and the verb is the verb sein, which means to be. However, the verb sein doesn't actually follow, as I told you, the rules of verb conjugation. So, it is very important to understand, as I told you before, that not all the verbs follow the rules of verb conjugations associated with the personal pronouns. Let's look at the conjugations of the verb sein once again. Ich bin, du bist, sie es ist, sie sind. Wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind, sie sind. Do you notice something common for these personal pronouns? If you look closely, the verb conjugation with the 4 pronouns are same, and the verb sein is conjugated as sind in sie, wir, sie, sie. So, there you go. You have one small tip here when it comes to the verb conjugation of the verb sein. It is conjugated with sie, wir, sie and sie in the same manner, and it is conjugated as sind. After doing all the rules of verb conjugations, let's do a small exercise of the verbs which we have done, and let's see how much you know about the verb conjugation. So, let's start an exercise with the verb conjugation. Are you ready? We have a student here who is like you also interested in learning German, and let's see how he does the following exercise. Ram, please start. As you can see, Ram filled the blanks with the verb conjugations, and let's see if they are correct. Ich komme aus Delhi. The verb conjugation with ich is a in German or e in English, and Ram filled the blank correctly. Sie heißt Asha. The verb conjugation with sie in the third person is te in German or t. So, this is also correct. Let's look at this sentence. Heißt Ali. With the verb heißt with the personal pronoun the ending is te or t. Right, Ram. Ram wohnt in Hyderabad. Ram, the noun in the third person is conjugated with verb te or t. So, this is also a correct sentence. Wir haben ein Haus. The verb haben is conjugated with an in German or en with the person pronoun wir. So, this is also a correct sentence. Wo wohnt ihr? Now, the verb wohnen is conjugated with the person pronoun ihr with the ending te or t. So, as you can see, with this exercise, we could successfully learn and practice the verb conjugations. In another exercise, we will do the verb conjugation with the verb sein. Now, let's do an exercise where the verb sein is conjugated. Now, we have a student here and he would write the verb conjugation of sein. Let's see this exercise. So, our student did an exercise with the verb conjugation sein. Now, let us look at the answers. Ich bin Student. Sie ist Studentin. Er ist Pilot. Wir sind in Mumbai. Du bist intelligent. Sind Sie krank, Herr Fischer? So, with this exercise, you saw how we conjugate the verb sein with different nouns as well as pronouns. I hope you would revise these verb conjugations and also practice them on a daily basis. For today, we would wind up this session, and in German we say Auf Wiedersehen.